Off the top at 10, the results rolling in tonight for Virginia's primary elections with several key races already called. A closer look at the races headed into the November midterm. A search for a stolen car ends with a police cruiser crashing into a house. That homeowner speaking with Fox 5 tonight as her house is deemed unsafe to stay in.
Metro officials say crime is down by a lot.
We are the safest Metro's ever been. We believe we're the safest transit agency in the country.
Hear why tonight.
Your news starts right now. Right now at 10, results rolling in Virginia's primary election.
Voters headed to the polls to choose their nominees in a number of races, including a U.S. Senate seat and much more. Fox 5's Regina Ureta is live in Arlington with the latest results and what we know so far. Hi, Regina.
Yeah, guys, and those ballots are still being counted, but we are starting to see the early results. Now, the primary was pushed from its usual June date to August, and that's because lawmakers delayed the election after Democrats fought to redraw the congressional map that ultimately failed. So what we're seeing is the approved 2021 congressional district boundaries for today's races. But let's get to one of the biggest races on the ballot, and that is the Republican primary for U.S. Senate. You can see there former Pentagon official Burt Mizuzawa is leading the race and is projected to win the Republican nominee. Mizuzawa has focused his campaign on foreign policy, federal spending, and energy policy. He will now challenge Democratic Senator Mark Warner this November. Warner is running for a fourth term and does not face a primary opponent. The senator champions policies focused on expanding affordable housing and strengthening national security. He recently made comments indicating a fourth term would be his last. Voters are also casting ballots in several congressional primaries, including the 7th, 8th, and 10th districts. In Northern Virginia's 8th congressional district, Democratic Congressman Don Beyer is the projected winner as he seeks a 7th term. Beyer's legislation has focused on ultimately climate change, taxation, and the economy, while Republicans have one candidate on the ballot, and that is Tony Sabio. Now, tonight, in a statement, Congressman Beyer wrote, "Republicans do not have the courage to stand up to Trump. To fix this mess, we must win back control of Congress. I'm throwing myself into that fight, working to elect Democrats across the country, starting right here in Virginia." As for turnout during today's primary, it seemed pretty low, but local officials, or rather local voters, are concerned about some strong issues. Some saying they're supporting a data center moratorium. Others want lawmakers to focus on affordability.
These data centers are really impacting people's physical health, or impacting water quality, or raising the prices of electricity.
Really interested in what the people want, not what a corporation or the donors, the people donating money to them want. Yeah, the needs of the people.
It's interesting to see how there's pushback with kind of expanding the densified areas. I don't know. That's something I would say I'm really interested in, to see how this area evolves.
And federal election monitors were also being basically watching today's voting places in Prince William and in Fairfax. That was announced by the DOJ last month. We continue to also monitor those early voting results, and we'll continue to update as those numbers start to change. Back to you.
Regina, thank you. Let's head to Maryland now, where the General Assembly has signed off on a constitutional amendment that could clear the way for new congressional district maps. But the matter is far from settled. Voters would decide in November whether to ratify the change that could in turn eliminate the state's only Republican-leaning district. If they do, the redrawn maps would take effect in 2028. Maryland Democrats say it's in response to a nationwide redistricting effort kicked off by President Trump and a Supreme Court ruling.
If it does win, there is a strong challenge to be made on the freedom of political speech in Maryland being violated. And that's what we're seeing across the country.
It's Republicans saying if it affects them negatively, they don't want redistricting changes. But if it benefits them, they're all about it.
Governor Wes Moore, who's been in favor of the change, is set to sign the bill tomorrow.
All right, let's go ahead, take a live look outside for you tonight. National Harbor, all is calm still, but changes are on the way.
Let's bring in Mike Thomas for your first check at 10 o'clock.
Right, that's the beauty of weather, always changing here in the D.C. region. Unfortunately, these changes, we're talking about more heat, more humidity, and some showers and thunderstorms that are expected to rumble across parts of the D.C. region in the days ahead, and it could start as early as tomorrow morning with a flood watch up for the overnight hours. Today, about where we should be for this time of year, 88-degree high temperature in D.C., Dallas 87, Baltimore 85. Didn't start bad, but you could probably notice humidity rising through the day, and we've clouded things over for the most part out there tonight, but pretty quiet. Reston Station Cam there in Virginia. DCA hanging on to 80 degrees. Feels like 83, though. Dallas 79, BWI Thurgood Marshall 78 degrees at this hour. And you can see why we've clouded up. They have had rain showers just about all day today coming from Richmond area on southward. We've been protected at the moment here by a ridge of high pressure to the north that's keeping that rain just far enough to the south that it's not impacting too much of us. Now, that's expected to change during the overnight hours. Storm tracker radar showing you maybe some light raindrops down towards the Fredericksburg area, perhaps 1 or 2 sprinkles up in Prince William and parts of central Fauquier County, but nothing too serious out there just yet. However, overnight as a frontal boundary comes northward, some of the storms that fire across the D.C. area could be on the heavy side in terms of rainfall. And if you remember Sunday, these were the same spots that were hit with flash flood warnings for Sunday afternoon. So those same areas have been coded with a flood watch here that'll go until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll show you a futurecast and you can kind of get an idea why that flood watch is where it is coming up in just a few moments. There's your planner through the overnight hours, and you kind of see best chances for the rain right around the early part of the morning commute. We'll have more on futurecast and talk about the remainder of the week, which does heat up. All of that coming up in just a few minutes here, guys.
Thank you, Mike. A stolen car with 7 kids inside crashes into another vehicle, killing a man in Montgomery County. The kids, they're all between the ages of 12 and 15 years old. There was no adult in the car with them. The crash happened early this morning at the intersection of Clopper Road and Great Seneca Highway in Germantown. Police have not identified the man who was killed. The 7 kids were all hospitalized, 2 of them in critical condition.
One of the things we talk about a lot is, do you know where your children are? You know, this call came in at 5:25 in the morning. We had a witness who had gone to the 5th District Station to report that there was a vehicle driving erratically.
Well, the owner of that stolen car reported it missing a few hours after that crash, so it's still unclear exactly when it was taken.
Now into a Fox 5 exclusive. A police chase in Prince George's County ends with an officer crashing into a house.
And tonight, the woman who lives there only talking with our Shamari Stone about that terrifying experience. And he joins us live from Oxon Hill tonight with more. Hey, Show.
Right now, I'm outside of this house here in Oxon Hill, and take a look at all of this damage. This is where that Forest Heights police officer crashed into this house. You can actually see inside of the basement right here. Look at this damage. The flower bed, never saw it coming. The landscaping, part of a crash report right now. And I just want to show you something real quick. The police license plate still here on the scene. It says Forest Heights on it. As you look at all the damage now, before we continue to tell you about the story, take a quick walk with me. 25-year-old Ayana Essa. She lives in this house with her elderly aunt and uncle. She was actually in the basement right down here on the other side of this wall. She hears that loud crash. She's like, what on earth is going on? That is when inside the house she walks up the stairs, pulls out her phone. She then starts recording. I'm going to show you her video and let you know what Forest Heights police say led up to this crash. Exclusive video showing seconds after the Forest Heights police SUV hits the house on the 5800 block of Livingston Road. Officers, along with police cars, on the scene with loud sirens, flashing lights. Ayana Essa standing at her front door in shock.
What is going on here?
Tonight, Forest Heights police telling me this all starts around 12:30 this afternoon near Livingston Road and Chrisfield Drive when officers spot a car that they say is reported stolen. They follow it. Suddenly, during their pursuit, police say a separate car, not involved in the pursuit, stops in front of the officer. He tries to avoid but hits that car, which then slams into Ayana Essa's black Honda Civic.
Oh my gosh.
Her uncle's gold pickup truck and their fence, causing all of this damage. And then that's when the officer crashes into their house, causing thousands of dollars in damage. While Ayana is inside, tonight she exclusively describes her reaction.
Honestly, my adrenaline was like
so high all day. Now I'm just like, I still can't believe it. It's like, how do you tell people, yeah, the cops ran into my house? And I'm just kind of in shock still.
That's right. Tonight, she is definitely shaken up. Medics drove the driver and some kids who were in the car that police were trying not to hit. Well, those people are at a hospital. They are okay. They were taken there as a precaution. As for that officer, he is also going to be okay. And as for the driver who was in the car that police say was stolen, well, he got away. Meanwhile, Ayana Essa, she's having a rough time. Take a look at her car right here. This Honda Civic is just looking like a tin can, just completely smashed. You have debris right here, parts of the car. She's going to have to get this fixed. And tonight, her elderly aunt, her uncle, and Ayana, they're at a hotel because emergency crews told them that the house that they currently live in is unsafe. I'm Shamari Stone here with another exclusive. Back to you.
Show, thank you. We've learned the name of the man killed by a Maryland Capitol Police officer. Alex Charles was shot at Fort Washington Park last night. Park police officers responded to reports of a shooting at a man walking near the river with a gun. Police haven't yet said if Charles is the one they believe who pointed the gun at officers. Maryland AG Anthony Brown's office is investigating.
Well, the man shot and killed in Northwest D.C. this morning was identified. Xavier Fogel was gunned down around 4:30 in the morning along 15th Street near Meridian Hill Park. Police arrived. They found him with gunshot wounds, and he died at the scene. Still no word on a suspect or a motive.
The 6-year-old boy who nearly drowned in the pool at the University of the District of Columbia is out of the hospital. Adonis Jackson's family says he was released over the weekend after more than 10 days in the pediatric ICU. But he is still facing a long recovery. Adonis was found at the bottom of a pool during a summer camp earlier this month. There were no lifeguards on duty at the time, but several lifeguards and members of the UDC aquatic staff remain on administrative leave.
Still to come, Metro now touting a decrease in crime. We are going to take a closer look at all the numbers.
Plus, the man accused of starting one of the several wildfires burning across Washington state is in court. We have more after this.